Ethan had never expected life to corner him like this, a single dad juggling 2 jobs, raising his 5-year-old son Liam, and now standing in front of a lawyer who calmly announced, according to her late father's will, you must marry his daughter, Ava, for guardianship of the house you and your son currently live in. Ethan's breath caught. Ava, the paralyzed woman who hadn't walked in 3 years, the woman he'd only met once in the hospital lobby where she sat in her wheelchair staring out a window. He'd rented her father's guest house for years, but he never imagined the old man would tie his home, his son's stability, to marriage. I can't force her, Ethan whispered. She already agreed, the lawyer replied. Ethan's heart hammered. Why would she? He found out the answer the next day when he met her again. Ava's voice was soft but steady. I don't want to be alone anymore, she said. And my father believed you were good. Ethan swallowed hard. He wasn't afraid of responsibility. He feared hurting someone already broken. Their small courthouse wedding was quiet, almost silent, except for Liam clapping happily. Ethan pushed Ava's wheelchair, promising himself he'd never make her feel like a burden. But inside, Ava's chest ached every time she saw his struggle to balance everything, his job, his son, his new duties. She didn't want pity. She wanted to walk again. For herself. For him. For the life she dreamed of. But every attempt left her trembling with pain. And every night, Ethan tucked Liam into bed, then sat beside Ava, doing his best to talk to her about her day, trying to ease her loneliness. Slowly, something warm bloomed between them, but Ava refused to let it show. She believed no man, especially one as gentle as Ethan, should be tied to a woman who couldn't even stand beside him. Weeks passed, and their strange marriage found a strange rhythm. Ava cooked from her wheelchair, Ethan repaired furniture to earn extra money, and Liam adored her, sitting on her lap, telling her stories. One evening, a storm cut the electricity. Liam was scared, so Ethan gathered candles. Ava tried to help, bending forward, and slipped. Ethan caught her instantly, his hands holding her waist, his face inches from hers. Her breath hitched. His eyes softened. You don't have to do everything alone, he whispered. She looked away. I don't want you trapped, she murmured. Trapped? Ethan gently lifted her chin. Ava, you and Liam are the only peace I have. Her heart thudded painfully, but something darker lay beneath. Her trauma. The accident that stole her ability to walk had also shattered her confidence. She had been engaged once, and her fiancé had left her the day he realized she might never walk again. Now, she feared Ethan would eventually feel the same, no matter how kind he was. So she kept a distance he didn't understand. But Ethan saw through her walls. One night, he found her struggling in the living room, gripping the parallel bars her therapist left. Sweat ran down her forehead, her arms trembling violently. Ava, stop, you'll hurt yourself. He rushed forward, but Ava cried out, I'm tired of being broken. I'm tired of holding you back. Ethan froze. She was sobbing now, shaking. He wrapped his arms around her from behind. You don't hold me back. You are my home, Ava. She collapsed against him, and for the first time, she allowed herself to believe he meant it. Still, fear kept her chained. She didn't know how to step toward him, literally or emotionally. Everything changed on the night of the charity gala. Ethan had been invited by his boss, who insisted spouses attend. Ava almost refused. People will stare, she whispered. Then let them, Ethan replied. You're my wife. She wore a flowing silver dress, her hair curled softly, and Ethan wheeled her in like she was royalty. But whispers followed them. Some pitied her, others judged Ethan. One woman sneered, he married her for the house. Ava's chest tightened. Ethan clenched his jaw, but instead of arguing, he kneeled in front of Ava, right in the middle of the ballroom. You are the strongest woman I've ever met, he said loudly. Anyone who doubts that can look at me and see the truth. I am the lucky one. The whole room fell silent. Ava's heart trembled. For the first time, she reached for his face. Ethan leaned in and kissed her, soft, slow, full of everything he'd held back. And then, something miraculous happened. Ava gasped. Her legs tingled. Heat spread down her calves. She pushed against the armrests. Ethan froze as he felt her shift, then straighten. Ava, she swallowed, tears streaming. Don't let go, she whispered. Never, he whispered back. And holding his hands tightly, Ava rose, shaking, trembling, but standing. The ballroom erupted in screams and shock, but Ava heard none of it. She was standing because love had finally reached the part of her that had been paralyzed far longer than her legs, her heart. Ethan wrapped his arms around her as she sobbed against him. Liam later ran in and saw his stepmom standing for the first time. He cried too, hugging her fiercely. Ava kept standing, holding Ethan's hand as if it were her anchor. She wasn't healed magically. Doctors later said her progress had been building quietly for months. But Ethan's kiss, the moment she chose hope over fear, that was when she chose life again. And from that day on, she didn't stand alone. She stood for love.